Welcome to the Hellmouth. Hope everybody's 5x5. This is Major Slayage, Ket Arik, Rewatch, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. My name is Eric, and to my right, your left, my brilliant, hilarious, gorgeous, talented wife and co-host. You know her as half the powerhouse duo that is Kim and Ket. Stay alive, baby. Give it up for Ketryn Porter.
You forgot enraged again.
Oh, and my very angry, enraged, wrathful wife and co-host.
Yes. I hope I don't explode into bees and crows in this episode.
I kind of hope you do. I think it would be amazing.
It would be cool.
Like, who wouldn't want to see that?
Man, I would love to explode into bees and crows and bats.
We are here to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 3, Episode 12, Helpless. What'd you think of this one?
I mean, it actually is one of my favorite episodes because you know how I love depressing, sad, enraging shit.
Yes, but
it's
it's
well acted.
I think it's also empowering in that
It is. It's really empowering.
Buffy learns, that she has more to her than just her super strength.
Mm-hmm.
This is a weird one that I kind of remembered as we were doing the watch along. I remembered little bits and pieces here and there. I remember little jokes. So I think that at this point, I'm curious to see what the back half of the season is going to look like if I'm going to start to remember more and more of these.
Mm-hmm.
I think season 4 is where I'm really familiar with the show.
Yeah, but I think I have a feeling the back half of season 3 is gonna be familiar to you.
Yeah, but this is fantastic. To me, again, this is another one that feels like the show.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a very Buffy episode. It's such a good idea for a story.
Yeah.
And it's one that if I had just been flipping channels and caught it at any point, I would have sat down and watched it the rest of the way through.
Yeah,
so
it's great. And the acting was great. Spoiler alert, everyone thought the actor who plays Kralik was great because they're going to bring him back soon.
Yeah, he shows up again. That guy was phenomenal. What a fun character. What a great performance. So much charisma. You almost feel like it's a missed opportunity that he doesn't get to be a recurring villain, that we couldn't have had him be a mini boss. Like have him somehow escape this, but the way she dispatches him
is
obviously
too satisfying,
and it was too great to not do it that way. But
I think the best we could do is bring him back at something else, which we do.
Yeah. I don't want to take up a lot of time with this, but I do have a weird marital grievance that I'd like to bring up.
I have one for you as well.
Well, I'm going to go first, and then you're going to feel bad because mine is actually just about dream, Ketryn.
Okay.
I had a dream about you last night where I was meeting you to pick you up at the gym.
Okay.
And I got to the gym, and you made me wait for 3 hours. You were still doing your gym thing. And then when you finally met me afterwards, after your 3-hour workout, you wanted to go clubbing. And I was like, what? Who are you?
Who am I?
And no, I want to go home and watch Rick and Morty on the couch.
I would never spend 3 hours at the gym, and I would never want to go clubbing.
Well, have a talk with Dream Ketryn because that was
nuts.
crazy. All right, what's yours?
Oh, it's just that you're unfortunately a white man and I'm married to you. That's all it is. That's my marital grievance.
I can only do something about that second one. So
yeah,
if that's the thing we need to discuss, you let me know. We wouldn't be the first Buffy podcast that suffered a divorce and then kept going.
No, I don't need to divorce you. I just wish you were not a white man.
Not a man or not white?
Either. Both.
I'm just as God made me.
I'm afraid you're SOL.
I feel the bees and bats gathering inside my body.
Oh, did you bring a spell this week?
I did. So I thought I would talk a little bit about crystals, specifically amethyst, since that is one of the crystals that is referenced in the very beginning.
Also happens to be my birthstone, and my birthday is coming up in just, by the time this airs, my birthday is going to be like in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, I did this because
sure you did.
It's Eric's birthstone. That's why.
Because Giles lists off a bunch of characteristics of the amethyst.
Yes.
And I saw your brow furrow during the watch along. We do a watch along on Patreon, $5 a month. We watch the episodes before we record these. We talk over it. It's very annoying. We also do a mini-sode. It's all for $5. Take it away.
I'm not really annoying in it. He's a little annoying in it.
But
I'm
Ketryn's delightful. I'm annoying.
Yeah.
Annoying
can you hold my microphone in front of my mouth, please?
Human mic stand. Here we go.
Okay. So I'm not really a crystal witch. It's just not a huge part of my witchcraft, but I have crystals and I'm, familiar with them. This is so hilariously covered with cat fur, which just adds to the magic. So I thought I would just share a little bit about crystals in general, and then we'll talk a little bit about amethyst specifically. So this altar cloth is a way for you to create your own crystal map, if you will. If you see, they all line up with the chakras of the body. Each chakra has its own sort of kingdom within yourself that it rules. And so you can sort of line up various crystals with this.
Sorry, this is not a great system.
I can hold
it.
Okay. You can line up various crystals with this based on whatever sort of like spell or intention you want to do, and sort of make a design and then meditate on it, much like Buffy was doing in the episode. And then I thought I would talk a little bit about specifically what amethyst is. Giles wasn't completely wrong, but it doesn't really have anything to do with money. He did specifically reference money charms.
And as someone who has lived my entire life with amethyst as my birthstone, can confirm,
yeah,
it has nothing to do with money.
Weirdly, neither do opals. Amethyst is good for purifying, warding off negative energy, protecting against environmental stress. It's also a third eye opener, so our intuition. It enhances spiritual awareness, which goes along with our third eye, calms mental stress, aids sleep, and calms your nervous system. So some of the things he referenced, sure. The only one that I really was like, well, it's definitively not about money spells. So that is amethyst. And, you don't have to have your own cat fur covered crystal map. You can create your own and create some sort of crystal sigil that means something to you in your spell work. So there you go.
Awesome. You want to get into the episode?
I do. We have a gorgeous charcuterie board that made me very hungry. Buffy's training with Angel, and it was really cute because she, gets him on the ropes, and Eric pointed out she goes to stab him with a baguette.
Yeah.
That was so cute. It's a really uncomfortable situation for both of them because their entire relationship is edging. It just sucks.
Satisfied?
I'm not sure that's the word.
You better hope he isn't satisfied or that soul goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
So
he asked what she's doing for her birthday, and she says she has plans with Hank.
What she says is she's got plans with a guy who likes to be called Daddy, which is the joke that for some reason I remembered from having seen this years ago.
You would.
All right. I didn't write the fucking thing.
So Hank is going to take her to the ice show, or is he? Now, this is where we go to the library and we see that Giles we're in our crystal
chapter.
Our crystal chapter, our crystal unit. This is where he talks about the amethyst. They do a lot better explaining why Faith is absent.
They at least attempt to.
Than they did with Oz. Oz, we had no explanation.
Yeah.
But at least
she's on walkabout.
Faith's on a walkabout. And not interested in proper training. And to be fair, Faith isn't going to sit there and stare at rocks.
No, that's true.
She's straight up not going to do that.
Kind of worked out though, because Buffy was doing something very specific that had to do with her turning 18. Faith would have just been in the way.
Right.
So
yeah.
Convenient on all fronts that Faith's not around. Although I miss her. I think she's great. And it's a bum out that we can't figure out how to give her something useful to do in some of these stories.
Yeah. He then has her concentrate on a giant blue crystal. Not sure what it was. Maybe an extremely expensive sapphire, perhaps a blue topaz, probably more likely a blue topaz. If you had a sapphire that big, you'd be throwing it into the ocean at the end. Titanic.
No, obviously.
Cut to Buffy patrolling, and she's very quippy. She's having a good time out on her patrol with this level 1 vamp.
Athleisure wear.
Mm-hmm.
She's dressed comfortably for the task at hand, which we both admired.
Yep. But as she's fighting, she kind of gets what she describes later as a dizzy spell, and the vamp gets her on the ropes and is about to literally turn her own stake on her.
Yeah,
and
this ain't no baguette.
And I made the point, I was like, man, if you're a Slayer, you at least want to get fucking killed by a heavy hitter.
A vampire with repute.
Yeah. You don't want to get killed by a fucking minion.
Mr.
Not
Sanderson
even a minion.
From the bank.
Yeah, Mr. Sanderson from the bank. That would suck so bad. Especially after Buffy's thwarted, I don't know, a dozen apocalypsi by this point. And then just some fucking burger flipper vampire gets to stab her with her own humiliating.
Right.
But she headbutts him, manages to grab the stake and just hold it here so that when he jumps back down on top of her, he stakes himself. It was smart. So the next day, she's in the library. Giles comes in and she's throwing knives. She hasn't made a single one.
No.
She
throws knives the way I throw knives.
I really related to the feeling she was having. There's something about trying to hit a target. It's probably one of the reasons why like I never really liked target-based sports in general, because I feel like I very easily get the yips with that.
You say that, but you're also like freakishly good at axe throwing, and you were much better at knife throwing than I was.
Right, but I get the yips where it's like
and you
all
get your
of
head and now you can't
where
find
I can't do it. And like that particular feeling is extremely unpleasant to me, and I really related to Buffy at that moment.
Didn't get that while swimming. You never dove into the dry part. You always managed to find the water.
I never dove into the dry part.
Okay.
She tells Giles about last night, and he says, I think you have the flu, which is such an idiot. Like,
you have no symptoms.
Have you never had the flu? You know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
We had, and now that I'm a doctor, I take it like I'm even more aggrieved by this. So in elementary school, we had a nurse who was the school nurse. Her name was Miss Fink. And I sprained my ankle one time and I had to go to the nurse's office and it was super swollen. And she put that yellow iodine on it and then like called my mom. But like that iodine
it's for cuts.
It's for cuts and shit.
You put it on like a twisted ankle. That's
and I'm
wild.
just like looking back on it. I'm like, who the fuck was this bitch? Like how did she get this job? Like she didn't even know what iodine was. That's how I feel when people are like, do you have the flu? It's like, you'd know if you had the flu. Buffy then says, I can't be sick. My dad is coming to take me to the ice show. Eye roll. We then go outside to lunch where she's explaining to Will Zaz, if you will, about the ice show and how like this is her tradition. And they're like, how about we have that other tradition where we have a birthday party?
They tend to go badly. Monsters crash, people die.
But her plans are thwarted by the ultimate villain of this entire series.
The big bad.
The big bad Hank. Because she comes downstairs on her birthday. There's a bouquet of flowers, but as you noticed right away, attached to that bouquet of flowers are 2 tickets, which means they are not.
Go on your own. Find someone else and go on your own.
And I just felt so bad for Joyce in this moment because you know that Joyce wants to say, yeah, your dad is a piece of absolute shit and I hate him and you are the only good thing to have come out of that union. You know what I mean? But like she has to be like, oh, he had to work and I can take you, like just.
Yeah, as a child of divorce, I definitely experienced a lot of that where my mom definitely wanted to say all those things, but instead was like, hey, maybe make an effort to go spend time with your dad.
Yeah.
Even though that she didn't like think that was a good idea,
yeah.
which frankly, I'm dubious about.
It's such a tough spot. Like it's such.
You don't want to shit talk the kids because they're impressionable. You don't want to poison the well. You don't want to make your problems their problems.
Yeah.
But you also like want to take care of your kid. No,
it's an impossible situation.
She's in a really awful situation.
Yeah. Now we cut to a home that is in need of some serious renovation, but would still cost no less than $2.5 million in Los Angeles, in this state, in its current state.
Yeah.
Would cost 2.5 mil easily. No question. And then I wrote spooky old men. I mean, they were spooky, but why? Oh, because they're just doing spooky stuff. They're in a spooky place doing spooky stuff.
Yeah, they're walling up all the windows and
walling
doors.
Up all the windows and doors.
Edgar Allan Poe story.
Yeah, and we see that something is in a locked box.
In a locked box?
What's in the fucking box?
The head creepy old man is like, Slayer prep is nearly complete.
And with that accent and that wardrobe, we instantly suss out who this guy is.
Yeah. Oh, I confused myself. I wrote Buffy is telling her real dad about ice dance. She's telling Giles,
but he's not picking up the clues. She's like,
well, we know he's got more on his mind,
right? But she's like, hey, you know, but if I had another dad, maybe that dad would want to take me because this first dad fucked me all up.
And I think she
Giles is just blowing past all of it. He's
and
like, look at the rocks.
I think she literally says, in case there was some other dad who wanted to take his daughter, or maybe his slayer, And then he says, look, like it was pretty heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more crystal work. And then he says, all right, stare at the flaw in the grounding crystal again, which is such an interesting metaphor for this whole episode. This particular crystal hypnotizes her and takes her out of the running.
Yeah, she's catatonic. She's just frozen.
Yeah. And that's when Giles injects her with something and she comes back out of it, apologizes for spacing out, and he says, maybe we should call it a night. This is hard to watch, man.
Yep.
This is hard to watch. Talk about another grown-up in a really tough pickle. Really tough spot.
I have some sympathy for the position Giles is in. I still find
made the wrong move.
His activities up to this point almost unforgivable.
100%. But I do think, like, especially right now, the systems that are put in place are so baked in that when you are put in a position of questioning it and going against it, it's like swimming against the, like, not even swimming against the current. Like, that's too passive. Like, this is such a metaphor for just like systems built archaically to victimize specifically young women and cloaking them in elite tradition, right? And it's just like, so Giles again made the wrong choice, but I don't envy his position.
But there's no ripper anywhere in him that goes, you know what, though, this is fucked up, and we've already bucked so many of the trends. We've already shed so much of the normalcy in this Slayer Watcher relationship.
Well, we don't know how this, I'm not defending it. This is clearly like an ancient thing.
And he probably thinks if I step out of line, ironically, he probably is afraid of getting removed from his post and then getting someone who isn't as concerned with her or doesn't get her being put in that position. It's great drama.
Yeah.
I think if he had shut this down right away,
we wouldn't have had an episode.
Not as good a piece of storytelling. So that's definitely true.
We now cut to Willow, who is dressed like a literal circus clown that just got out of a clown car. She got a ride to school with a clown posse. This was bananas. Willow and Buffy are talking, and then they see that there is some fuckboy who is literally putting his hands on Cordelia. Can you fucking imagine? Like, if you were in high school and you saw some dude,
I would be completely triggered. I would have intervened. I would have run up. It would have put me in fight or flight, even if I didn't know the people.
It was really
aggressive.
Like, really aggressive, very scary, and definitely like looked like it was going to go further than that.
Yeah. And you mentioned that because of the episode that had just aired last week before this, Buffy just showing up and making eye contact with a bully was enough to shut the bullies down.
Yeah.
And so we've got an expectation that that's what's about to happen here. It doesn't
almost
play out that way.
It's almost like, and she couldn't have known this.
Right.
It's almost like what she should have done was what she did the last episode, was just walk up
and not touch him.
But the fact that she
touched
grabbed
him and couldn't overpower him.
But he fucking threw her. And I'm just like, where the fuck is Snyder? Like, this is
Snyder would love watching Buffy get tossed around.
It's just like, it's egregious physical abuse. Like, it's wild. I went to a private school, so I have learned that, like, I think there were a lot more like physical altercations at regular
at
public
poor people schools.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I say that is because, like, Kim has even talked about, like, when fights would break out of school, and I'm like, fights would never break out at my school because they would be expelled immediately.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
School.
No, the pattern was fights at my school, and it wasn't a common thing. Like I said, there were 3 public high schools where I lived. I was at the nicest of the 3 because it's all based on where you live, which one you get to go to. So I went to this one because we used my aunt's address as my address and went to the nicest of the 3. But there were still fights, and the way it would usually go is someone would start a fight, and then when the person who had been picked on retaliates, that's when the teachers would get involved.
Yeah.
And you stand around and you go, well, fuck, at least give him 45 seconds to say his piece.
Or break it up and go, I fucking know who started it. You know what I mean? Like it's
it was like the person who wanted to initiate things got to get all their yayas out, and then like, when you retaliate, that's when the popo shows up and clamps down.
It's all bullshit. Cordy ends up sort of having to defend herself, and I found her reaction really sad as well, because she wasn't shocked by the abuse.
Right.
It didn't shake her, really. I mean, she, reacted, but like she wasn't shocked.
Right.
She and she kind of like stayed focused on what she had to do. That almost made me just as sad, that it was just like, this should have been wasn't her fucking first shocking to her.
Yeah, this wasn't her first rodeo with having a guy put his hands on her.
Yeah.
And then she fights him back like this, like a Punch and Judy puppet.
Yeah. So, which is mirrored later in the episode. That exact move. Buffy runs up to Giles and she's like, dude, this is bad. This is really bad. And Giles is brushing her off again. He had a real weird line. I'm
like this at all.
It did not do what it was supposed to do. I'm pretty confident that that how Giles meant it, but it's not how it came off. So
and it made a list. Let me tell you this: we do a list at the end of the episode, and we're talking about this again.
Yeah. So she goes,
I have no strength. I have no coordination. I throw knives like
a girl.
Now, I don't think he was saying you throw like a girl. I think he was saying
like a mortal, like
a mortal
person,
yes,
like a regular person.
Did not read that way.
But you could have said like a regular person,
especially after the scene we just watched.
Yeah,
especially after the bees and the bats that live inside me right now. What else did I say lived in there? Bees, bats, crows, cats. I got a whole menagerie of ire inside of me. And Giles is just like, it all gets sorted out, and runs off. Cut to Giles trying to sort it out.
This is where they're having tea at the flop house.
Having tea at the flop house.
So they've got this abandoned house where this test is going to take place. And instead of meeting at a nice restaurant for tea to discuss this, they go to the fucking place and sit on a ratty ass couch.
Yeah. Listen, Brits are going to Brit, Brits are going to Brit.
But they could Brit at a nice cafe.
Well, I think what's more likely and what's more insane is that he was there for like a run through of like, here's where it's going to be. But they're so British. But they're so British.
They gotta have some tea.
That they have some tea there.
But what would be the point if he's not going to convey anything to her anyway? Like, what does he need to know? What the layout of the house is, or where all the traps are?
Fucking protocol, man. Just protocol.
I don't know.
I don't know. Talk to Quentin. So Giles is like, this is fucking archaic. This is ridiculous. This is torturous. And Quentin is like, it's always been done this way. Blah blah blah. I at this moment went, okay, let's do the test. Let's do it. Let's shoot her up. Let's take her powers away. I think this is a great exercise, but let's tell her that we're doing it. Let's say it's your 18th birthday. This is the test we do now. Goddess forbid you ever are cursed in some way. You lose your powers mid-fight.
You need to know
that you can do this without your powers. You are more than your Frankly, I love this.
Yeah, there's a way to empower her with this, but it seems to be the point that the most charitable we can be is that they disregard her.
Yep.
But more likely, fucking with her is part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of
it's experimental. It's again like a lab rat. It's
and maybe she survives, maybe she doesn't.
Yeah, and it's like, what does this rat do in this situation if we let the rat know? What does this rat do in this situation if we don't let the rat know? Like, it's so dehumanizing.
But I think that it's definitely dehumanizing. I think there's a lot of unspoken anger from the Watchers Council in general, in that here is a person that we need who has powers we don't have,
and it's a woman,
and it's a woman. But there are female Watchers too, as we learned from Gwendolyn Post. But it's patriarchy's baked into all of it.
Thank you.
But I think the specific thing is we're so fucking jealous and angry that we need this person, but we can't exalt them. We can't let that. Then the Slayer runs the fucking thing. Well, that's not going to work. So we have to keep the Slayer down, and we have to treat her like shit, and we have to lie to her, and we have to dehumanize her.
As they're talking about it, Quentin is like, quit it. She's not your daughter. This is how things are done. The conversation is interrupted by screaming. We see that the two, who are these guys? What do we call them? The two lackeys of Quentin.
Blair and
Hobson.
I was going to say Humbert.
One of them opens that locked box that we told you about, and a motherfucking Hannibal Lecter ass bitch who's in a straitjacket vampire.
Very hot, very like late 90s kind of Eric Roberts-y, kind of bad guy hot. An actor we recognize from later in the show who also plays
What a
Rack.
revealing moment. At no point would I have described him as hot. What a revealing moment. I love learning about you.
Well,
I love learning that this guy did it for. Interesting. Okay.
I'm not saying I want to go, clubbing after 3 hours at the gym with him. But no, this is a handsome, like it's a hot.
But he's like literally vamped the whole time. Like we don't even see his whole face.
Vamp Buffy was plenty hot. Vamp Angel and Spike are hot. I don't want to hear about.
Okay.
The vamping is not a barrier.
It's no judgment. That's not where he lived.
Well, here's the thing: is they didn't cast a gross guy. They cast a very handsome, like character actor.
Yeah,
like I said, he kind of was like gave me Eric Roberts vibes a little bit.
I don't find him attractive either. So,
but have you seen young Eric Roberts? Are you thinking of like old Eric Roberts?
I think we're just
responding to different things.
I think we're just butting up against a place where our taste doesn't.
We would never fight over a man.
Yeah,
there you go.
This guy, he's a vampire, so he sucks, right? But prior to being a vampire, he was a crazy, murderous, psycho serial killer
who got committed to an asylum
and got vamped in the asylum, I guess.
And he's got mommy issues.
But
we learn all that in a minute. But what's going on right now is they've taped a spoon to a television antenna so they can stand far away from him and put pills in his mouth.
Talk about an archaic system.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they've got like an extendo claw with a little glass of water. They try and dump into his mouth to get him to take his pills. And you asked, what would I have done about it? Dennis the Menace slingshot. Put the fucking pills into his mouth that way.
You are Dennis the Menace. So they give him his pills so he stops screaming, and then he close them back up.
So what do you think the pills are for?
So I think that the pills are mostly placebo. I think they probably do something. I don't
but
think
the relief starts upon taking them, even though they wouldn't have had time to
exactly
enter his
and
system.
He's in pain. So I think what it is like whatever they do the symptoms start to build back up. I don't think the symptoms are pain though. I think the pain is
crazy.
The
It's voices.
Part.
It's
but he interprets it that way. So when he takes the pill, the pain goes away, but there's no mechanism by which taking a pill
instantly does
alleviates pain. So now Wuffy and Zaz are researching why Buffy doesn't have her powers.
Why'd you break that into two names instead of one name for all four of them?
Because I like Wuffy and I like Zaz.
Okay.
And I can't believe that I've been saying Billow this whole time instead of Wuffy.
Right.
Like, honestly, apologies.
Apologies all around.
Zaz has a fight about kryptonite.
Yeah.
So, how many kryptonites are there?
I couldn't answer that definitively.
Okay, but
the main one is
green, gold, and red.
No, Oz tries to make the point that green kryptonite kills, but Superman has encountered green kryptonite. It doesn't kill instantly. It weakens him and would eventually kill him with long enough exposure. Mm-hmm. The red kryptonite just makes Superman kind of a cranky asshole.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Makes him apathetic. It seems to affect his empathy.
Kind of like if Vince Vaughn played Superman.
That'd be awesome. I would watch that. And then the gold... Oz says is the one that zaps his powers. So
like gold doesn't kill him, doesn't turn him into a sassy asshole, but it extracts his powers.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Buffy's obviously annoyed. Me too. Willow is trying to be like, don't worry, we're going to figure out how to get your powers back. But also, what if we don't? Which is me in that situation. Mm-hmm. I am always, probably to a fault, to be honest, is like, I always imagine the worst case scenario and make a plan for it or attempt to make a plan for it.
Yeah.
And so in this instance, I do think it's important that Willow at least ponder.
And I think what Willow might be trying to go for, she doesn't get too deep into it, mm-hmm. but I imagine she might be saying maybe this is the relief of this burden. You go back to being a regular person and maybe that's not so bad.
Except the part that they're both forgetting
mm-hmm.
is and I can't think of a good metaphor for it, but it's like what would have to come along with having your power zapped is also
witness protection program,
and also being bestowed with ignorance. Like just
yeah, because she talks about that later with Angel. But I think Willow's move to attempt to be comforting is like, hey, it wouldn't be so bad. You'd be a person. Maybe you come play with Rat Amy. We teach you some spells.
Yeah.
But
maybe she would have been a witch.
Yeah, coulda.
Interesting. We go back to the flop house. And the caretakers, the minions, what did we call them? The lackeys are woken up by the screaming. And so he opens up the box again, and old Scream face. What? I don't know. We see that it's time for his pills, but he's screaming to cover up the fact that he's ripping the shoulder out of his straitjacket. You're incorrect. Like, you'd have to start. Of course, you could get out of it if you rip the shoulder seam. If you rip the shoulder seam, then the thing falls off and you can pull your arm out.
I guess.
No, it's not.
But how do you get leverage to break your shoulder seam from inside of the garment?
It takes a long goddamn time, and all you have is time when you're locked in a box, and the only thing you can move is your shoulder.
Because if I wanted to break the seam off of this shirt, if I move, the shirt moves with it.
Okay, so. Well, first of all, that is a stretch knit. So like,
which would be much easier to break out of than a fucking straitjacket, which is designed to not break out of it.
No.
They don't make a tearaway straitjacket.
No,
that's
first
crazy.
Of all, he's a vampire, so he has vampire strength. Second of all, it is much easier to rip fabric that has no give to it. Now it's a very thick straitjacket fabric.
Because that's what straitjackets are known for, is how easy they are to rip.
He's a vampire. He has vampire strength.
I think this is the most heated fight we've had on the show.
Because you're being an idiot. Order in the court. Dummy, you're held in contempt. Idiot.
I have nothing but contempt for this court.
He's like, I can't see the pills. So the guy, rather than just extending his arm a bit, is like, let me take 2 steps forward. Whoops. Arm out, strangled.
We got this long pole, but he's holding it like this. Now you got another 2 feet of arm here. You could, maintain either that or get you that slingshot. I'm saying, or you tell him to fuck off, and you don't give him his pills.
There we go.
Either you open your mouth or you get no pills. You dipshit.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
That's what I would have done too. But though, not me. I can't deal with noise.
You would have needed the screaming to stop.
I'd be like, vamp me. I can't. I don't want to do this. I need the screaming to stop. There's a lot of reasons I don't want kids. One of the reasons is constant screaming. Back with Bangel, it's her birthday, and he gives her like a very sweet present. It's a present that I would want.
It's not the center of her bullseye in terms of...
No, it's like an old-timey book of sonnets.
This is the golden rule versus the platinum rule.
Yes.
He's treating her the way he wants to be treated. He's giving her a gift he would appreciate. Mm-hmm. He's not giving her a gift that she would appreciate.
Right, exactly. This is where she has a conversation with Angel, where she's got a lot of mixed feelings about...
What do you think that... I'm sorry to interrupt. What do you think the thinking was from the writers in terms of not having him give her an awesome gift? Is it just that they're reconnecting is not, they're not quite joining up? Is that what we're trying to convey?
No, I think he probably spent many a sleepless day being like, what the fuck do I get her? Because what I want to get her is a goddamn engagement ring. Like right. But I also don't want to get her like, you know, a candle from Bath and Body Works, or, you know, a mug that says World's Best Slayer with bath salts in it. You know, I think he was probably like, what the fuck do I get her? Truly. And it's like, here's this weird book.
Yeah.
Weird book?
Not doing jewelry.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to crap out that cloud ring that went up my poop chute and re-gift that.
You love talking about the clotter ring going up his poop
Where
chute.
did it go? Where else did it go?
The amount of
Where else did it go?
times that you have talked about that makes me wonder what's going on
with my poop chute.
Yeah. And how many clotter rings do you have up there? You know?
Only one way to find out.
No, thanks. We'll be right back. Never again. We kind of already talked about this, where she's talking about what is my life if I'm not a slayer?
But also, like, she's so aware of all the danger out there, and then to feel powerless against it would be fucking torture.
Yeah. We then have to do, Eric and I have to do some mental gymnastics about when Angel says that he loved her when he first saw her. Because the only way this works is if Angel was turned when he was 17.
We pretend he was 17.
He was turned
when
at 17,
and he's trapped in amber.
And she was late stage 14. Late stage.
I think she was 15.
No, because
she was 15. She was 16 when she got to Sunnydale.
Okay, so she was 15 and he was 17.
My grandparents were 17 and 14 when they got together.
Actually, I think mine were too.
I mean, that's not the end of the world.
So that's what we're doing. Pretty sure the lore is that he was
in his
older
20s.
than 17, but I can't, you know what?
I can't take that on.
Right now.
We can't take that on.
Especially right now, I can't do that right now.
Bats and bees.
Yeah, bats and bees and cats and bison and ogres.
Donkey.
And dragons and scorpions. So back with Zachary Kralik, and he's
I'll get to tune out when this is over. I got to live with her the rest of the night. This show is triggering.
Yeah, Kralik is humming and eating. He turned the guard into a vampire so that he could break him out.
And
then,
we talked about this too. This is weird. We've seen the vamping take several days, enough for people to have a funeral and be buried and then climb up out of the ground, or at least make it to the funeral home and pop up out of a coffin. This guy is right there at his feet, and Bumpy Face wakes up. Here we go.
What's my theory, which I think is a brilliant theory?
It has to do with the blood type.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Just like
as good as anything else.
Just like why mosquitoes, the same mosquito will come and bite me and I will get a big giant welt. Mm-hmm. That same mosquito may bypass you completely.
Right.
Or if it does,
we've talked about this before. I get bit maybe 20 times all summer. You get bit 20 times a day in the summer. So they're not interested in this.
So that's
they're not
why
buying what I have to offer.
So that's why. So if you got vamped, you would make it all the way to you'd be buried. Mm-hmm. I think you'd be fucking buried. I think I would vamp up before he was even done draining me. Cut to coming in. He's like, this sucks. Like, my daughter is so bummed out. Like, they're researching like, this sucks. I'm not doing this. But he comes in, puts his hand in blood, grabs a steak, sees that the fucking box is empty, and he's like, oh shit. Now, by the way, the other minion lackey that he killed, that they ate for dinner, so he turned one into a vamp, the other one he ate for dinner, was so mutilated that it made Giles gag.
But I thought Giles should not have ventured inside at all. I think he should have seen that the guy was not in the box and
bailed.
Exit stage left.
Yeah. Well, he does exunt. Buffy, though, is walking home, and some real fucking stereotypical grossos catcall her. And this would have been an opportunity that Buffy would have loved to throat punch these dudes. But she doesn't have the strength to do it, so she just kind of stops and has to keep walking. She then is intercepted by Zachary Kralik. She's fully outmatched. This is where she does the Cordelia move, which I just thought they mirror those two women way more often than I ever realized.
Yeah. Well, she tells Angel, she's like, before I was the Slayer, I was Cordelia, or maybe not even as good a version of Cordelia.
Yeah.
Like, she kind of makes that comparison herself too. Like, that is who she could have wound up being.
Yeah.
She probably would have wound up being Harmony, honestly.
Yeah, because and I don't even mean this as an insult, Buffy. Like, I think you just have other types of intelligence, but like, Cordy is very like whip smart, like that type of smart, and
that social interaction, that how to
Buffy's
take over
awkward.
a room.
Buffy's kind of awkward. Yeah.
I don't know that the plastics are going to be digging the dad jokes.
Yeah, right. This is where we start to see that like Buffy has incredible instincts, because she whips herself out of the jacket. He's holding the jacket, so she just slinks out of the jacket. Kind of like that thing we learned where everyone should have a bat by their bed, put a sock on it.
So if an intruder comes in and you swing the bat and they grab the bat, you pull the thing out of the sock.
And they're left holding a sock.
Now you get to do that once, so you better make a good use of that moment.
It just has a bunch of socks on it. So she runs. She does a great job. She makes a lot of noise, like really screaming.
But she's got that horror movie victim
herself.
Run down.
Yeah.
At this point, she's done the incredible chase scene in I Know You Did Last Summer. She's also been in Scream 2 at this point. and she's channeling all of that
It's
into
great.
this.
She
Her
can't-
physicality is really, when she's not powerful, Buffy, very compelling, making very deliberate choices in how she
Carries
moves through her
herself.
world. Yeah, it was very cool.
And then she tries to stop a car. It drives off, but luckily another car pulls up and it's Giles.
Yep.
Kralik is left holding her jacket.
And you pointed this out, Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Like, that was
Well,
very
he even
deliberate. And he
says,
calls it
he
out later,
references
too.
it. Yeah. So now in the library, Buffy is really shaken and Giles can't take it anymore. So he pulls out the serum and tells her it's a compound of muscle relaxants and adrenal suppressants, and it's a test. And she's not okay.
No, she's shattered. Her trust is completely violated. She is completely violated. She literally says, "You poisoned me."
And she says, "Who are you?"
Mm-hmm.
That's that. Boy, oh boy.
Because in that moment, she's got to be wondering: is all of the trust, is all of the mentorship, is
it all gone?
Not is
What
it all
else
gone?
have
Has it
you
all
done?
been bullshit?
Yeah.
Has it all been you telling me what you thought I needed to hear to get me to go along with this awful Watcher bullshit?
Yeah. Giles is obviously ripped to shreds in this moment. And I do truly believe he says,
"Because I've told you this, the test is invalidated. You will be safe now, I promise you. And whatever I have to do to deal with Kralik and to win back your trust."
I didn't think about this till right now. This is especially triggering because first she made out with Angel and learned he was a vampire. Then, knowing he was a vampire, she has sex with him and he turns bad. It turns into a bad vampire. So this idea of like, I thought I knew who you were and then you betray me is a thing she's gone through before. So on its face, it's already terrible, but it's also PTSD. It's also super triggering because she's literally been through this twice in the last couple of years.
3 times, because I know I joke about Hank, but like Hank fucking pieced the fuck out. There's no weekend visitation with him. There's nothing. He didn't. Most divorces, you have to like have it cleared with the court to even move out of the same town as the other parent. If he had put up a fight, Joyce wouldn't have even been able to move to Sunnydale. He clearly did not. So it's like this is stemming way back to men changing, abandoning me.
Mm-hmm.
Cordy then comes in thinking that she has to write a paper. And this was really well done because she's being quippy Cordy, right? And she's like, did somebody forget who she, because what she says is, I don't know you.
And she's like, oh, did something happen to her
Giles.
memory? This is Giles. Like she thinks they're on another adventure.
Yeah. But Giles has to tell her, like, you can't walk home by yourself. You can't go home by yourself. So Buffy asks Cordy to drive her home, and we see Cordy's heart again. I just love when they show us Cordy's heart. So let's go check on Joyce. Joyce needs a vampire lesson. I just feel like if you live on the Hellmouth and you hear a knock on the door, and then you open that door and nobody is there, you close that door.
Right.
You don't go out and investigate onto the porch.
At the very least, she needs a dry erase board next to the door with a couple of, some people put like the keys, wallet, phone, like your checklist. She needs to have don't go outside. Don't let anyone in. Don't open the door.
Yeah. But instead, she walks out onto the porch. She sees a very large man. No way to mistake this mound for Buffy.
This guy's twice as tall as Buffy.
But
outweighs her by 100 pounds.
He's underneath, her red coat. And he rolls over and says, "Mother."
Now she's 2 feet away from her door. I don't believe that she couldn't have even discombobulated, found her way back inside before he got all the way up off the ground.
Sure.
Unless they're going to show us him do that thing where you turn around and the other person is right there.
Yeah.
She should have done that. She should have gone, oh, fuck this, blah, blah, and then turn around and he's there at the door to keep her from going inside.
That would have been
I would have bought that.
So Buffy now comes home and she throws Hank's flowers right in the goddamn trash. One big bad down the drain. And she finds a Polaroid of Joyce being strangled by Kralik. He's a diabolical motherfucker.
The shit would be in the reboot. This would be just a text photo.
Right. Yeah.
But they didn't have
Nope.
that.
Polaroids are coming back.
Oh, maybe a Polaroid again.
The kids love a Polaroid.
They do. They love physical media.
An ancient artifact.
Yeah. To them, it'd be the same as like if someone having an abacus.
Yeah, exactly.
Might as well.
So Buffy goes upstairs and she grabs all of her weapons. She's got to bring all of her weapons because she has no powers. And she specifically grabs
holy water and puts it in her pocket, not in her little satchel. But then she loads the bag up and she can like barely carry it. And she looks so tiny. And I feel like they probably use a slightly larger bag just to emphasize how kind of small and vulnerable and petite she is. But she really looks like a little kid.
Yeah, she does. So now we cut to Joyce tied up and Kralik is taunting her and we get a little bit of his backstory. It was kind of an Ed Gein kind of situation where it was a super abusive, sadistic mother. We learn that he killed and ate her. But, you know, she sounded like a piece of shit. And I love when people use the whole buffalo, you know? And we learned that he's not going to kill Buffy. He's going to turn her into a vampire, which I thought was so great.
And the first person we've heard mention that. I think
yeah, like to me, I'm kind of like, why doesn't Spike want to like
everyone wants
why
to
wouldn't
just kill
everyone want to turn her into a vampire?
Yeah, it's wild.
So
this guy thinks outside the box.
Now that he's out of it.
He doesn't live in it anymore.
He then is like right in Joyce's face. And he says, after I turn her, your face will be the first thing she eats. And then he stops and says, I have a problem with mothers. I'm aware of that. Such a great line. So Buffy comes in loaded for bear. Bear? And I wrote bear or bear. B-A-R-E? B-E-A-R. What am I loaded for? Because I don't want to be loaded for a bear. Right. I like bears.
You would choose the bear.
Yeah, I always choose the bear. So she's got a crossbow. There's a fire going. I clock the fire. Nothing. It's a Chekhov's fire, but I was doing my due diligence of just what do
assessing
I have
the
around
situation.
Here?
Yeah.
She sees that the windows, the doors, everything is bricked up. She did put like a stake in the door to keep the door open, but the vamped lackey pulls it out. Giles is now in his office trying to call Quentin. And he's fucking pissed. And this is where Quentin is like, well, the test has already started because fucking Kralik got out. Whoopsie daisy. And
but
he's
proves
so
your
fucking
point.
Casual about it.
But it proves your point because like Buffy is aware of the test, but we're still proceeding with the test. So we could have told her about the test the whole time.
Yeah. So what do you say about that, Quentin? God, you piece of shit. You piece of shit. Buffy now encounters the lackey. She tries to shoot him with a crossbow, but she doesn't have aim either. So she's got to use what's around her. She ends up pushing a bookcase over him. Then she grabs like a big heavy statue and beats him with it. Kralik is now playing hide and seek with her. Eric said he would play hide and seek with me. I think that would be really fun. Eric will never find Eric will literally never find me. You'll never find me. I could be standing in the middle of the room. You're not going to find me.
What happened? I wear headphones in the house, like, because I listen to stuff too loud. And I was cooking in the kitchen, and she walked up behind me, and was just kind of apparently like mirroring, like standing directly at my six, like directly behind me at all times
for like a full 2 minutes.
And I didn't know she was there. And I turned around and screamed.
It was awesome.
Threw my rice up in the air.
Yeah, I used to get annoyed that he just like can't hear, can't see.
Well, you make me wear headphones. If I try to listen to something without headphones, you text me or you yell, "Could you put that in headphones?"
Yeah,
so,
you just it's just
get a bonus round of Marital Grievances.
Yeah. But anyway,
I'm not sure whose it is.
But honestly. Now I've just now I am like, if he's gonna fucking wear headphones and not be able to hear me all the time, then I'm just gonna scare the shit out of him as often as possible. And it's bringing me joy. Kralik strangles her. She pulls out a cross, but he's a perverse motherfucker and starts
burning
his wiener with it, which is just so gross and upsetting. So she tries to run up because she's still looking for Joyce. She doesn't know where she knows Joyce is in the house, but doesn't know where. So she can't run out of the house. So she runs up the stairs, which normally I'm opposed to, but in this sense, I don't think she had a choice. He grabs her through, which kind of creates a stake because we have, the banister that's got whatever in it. She's looking for a mom and all the doors. She comes upon a room of Polaroids. Kralik busts in, grabs her. He's about to bite her. And luckily, his fucking headache comes. Now, rather than Buffy running away, she observes. And he pulls the pills out. And she goes, oh, wait a minute. He needs these. So she fucking grabs the pills and runs, which was so smart.
And she dives into a laundry chute, which I thought
dives
was
into a
genius.
laundry chute. So great. And luckily, that's where Joyce is. So she's down in the basement.
Not a Slayer, though. That would fuck a mortal person up. To fly down a laundry chute head first.
Well, she has a giant.
But I'm like, that would hurt every part of your body. Like that was so brave and so crazy.
Yeah.
To do without like the durability of being the Slayer.
Being a Slayer.
That I just thought of that now. That's fucking crazy.
You'd have to know how to like immediately.
I hurt myself getting off the couch.
Yeah, you'd have to immediately know when to like roll.
She's like she didn't break her fucking neck, flop out of the bottom of corpse.
I fucking went to Sky Zone with my little cousin and gave myself whiplash. True story.
And it happened like when the first 5 minutes we got there, and you didn't want to wreck their birthday, so you just had to pretend you were like, oh yeah, no, sure, let's jump around some more. Like you couldn't move the whole day.
Could not move for like a week. It was bad. So he comes in, he's still screaming, right? And he sees sitting on a little table a glass of water. So he drinks it, calms down, and he's now,
starts
taunting,
speechifying a little bit,
but then stops. And she pulls out the empty bottle of holy water and he starts smoking from the inside. And she says, if I was at full Slayer power, I'd be punning right now.
Love it. Perfect. Genius. Amazing. God, I love Buffy.
So she tries to untie Joyce. Joyce is like, can't you just, and she's like, no. Another vamp comes out, almost gets them, but here comes Good Dad. And he dusts the last vamp and we're safe. Cut to the library. Now we got to deal with old Quentin. He has the gall, the absolute audacity to say, congratulations, you passed the test. Like she gives a flying fuck. And she brings up such a good point. Like she's like, me knowing or not knowing about the test, Giles wanting or not wanting to administer the test has nothing to do, I'm just thinking of this right now, has nothing to do with the fact that your entire fucking system broke down. This motherfucker escaped and took my fucking mom. Mm-hmm. He didn't escape because like she knew about the test or Giles or whatever.
Yeah, if Giles and Buffy had played by the rules, this was still going to fuck up.
Yeah, so fucked up. And he's so casual about it. That is what kills me about this character.
What he says is, you think it was unfair? Well, we're not in the business of fair. We're fighting a war. And Giles says,
You're waging a war. She's fighting it.
She's fighting it.
So this is where we learn Buffy passed. Giles didn't. He's fired. And Giles luckily gets a shortcut back into Buffy's heart because of Quentin. Because he says, the reason I'm firing you is because you have a father's affection for the child, which in his mind clouds his ability to do his job, which we already know is bullshit. Because Giles told Buffy having friends, having a community, having relationships will cloud your ability to do your job. We already know that that's not true.
It's made her better.
It's made her better. It's made Giles a better watcher. Buffy's got a pretty bad cut on her head. Giles comes over and washes her wound. And she realizes that her real dad didn't abandon her.
Showed up when it mattered.
Now we're at breakfast. We have an assembly line of
breakfast. This seems like lunch to me.
Well, there's orange juice.
Oh, but they're making PBJs for breakfast?
Maybe it was lemonade. I don't know. Let's talk about that more because I think that's the point of the scene. Making breakfast, and it's Zaz and Wuffy and Joyce. So it's
yeah, let me hear all five of these together.
Wuffazazois. Willow cannot handle that Giles is unemployed. She's very upset about that. Buffy still can't open jars, so she hands Xander a jar of peanut butter, which, boy...
Xander kind of like inserts himself.
Oh, do you need a strong man to do it? He really wanted to be able to do it.
And this reminded me of, and I'll play the clip here. There's a podcast clip that went around a couple months ago from, I forget what it is. I don't know what the name of the show is, but they've got like at whatever behind the thing. And it's just this like misogynistic jerk who's always on there trying to humiliate women. And so he's got this woman on and he wants her to open a jar and she can't do it. So she tosses it back to him. It's like, fine, fuck it, you do it. And he struggles with it, can't do it, and then tries to blame her and says, well, you got the lid all greasy, which I think might have been a racial component to that as well. But what a piece of shit. And I just sort of like, it tickled me in this.
Bees and bats and scorpions and cats and lots of bears inside me.
But I love that, given the context of this episode, that Xander came in. If they had let Xander open it for her, it would have tanked
Yeah.
the entire thing. The fact that he couldn't do it either
Was awesome.
was a little bit of a, okay, we can chuckle at this.
Yeah.
I needed a post-credit scene of Giles and Buffy taking their seats at Snoopy on Ice.
Oh, God. Me too.
Sunnydale High Yearbook Committee meeting now in session. Who'd you have for best dressed?
Best dressed, I had a tie.
Okay.
Both Buffy. I love an overall.
Yes.
But I also loved her white shirt, crisp black jeans, and boots that she was wearing for part of the episode. She looked fantastic.
I went with her sling outfit where she's in like the kind of Sporty Spice
Windbreaker
situation. I just thought she could move in it. It's form meets function.
Mhm.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Who'd you have for worst dressed?
1, 2, 3.
Clown Willow.
Yeah.
Who'd you have for best line?
The delivery of
I have a problem with mothers. I'm aware of that.
just so
That guy was so charismatic.
he was so
He was
good.
great.
So
I'm
good.
glad they brought him back.
Yeah.
Although I like this character better than Rack, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
This was more fun. I gave the best line to Buffy.
If I was at full Slayer power, I'd be punning right about now.
That's pretty great.
Worst line.
Okay. I glossed over it because too much was happening, but Joyce does the thing that Xander did in the last episode, where Xander came in the last episode and he goes, "We've got to stop him." Do we? And then Joyce is tied up with a gag in her mouth and says,
Buffy, we have to go home.
No, we live here now. Buffy wants to live in the flop house.
"What are you talking about?" Hate it.
I gave it to Like a Girl.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so gross and demeaning.
Yeah.
And given, I think you're trying to give him a pass by saying he just meant like a
Because I
mortal.
have to.
I think it reinforces the unconscious buy-in that Giles has to the patriarchy. When he doesn't examine it, there's parts of him that are just sewn into this machine.
Yep.
And I
It's
feel like
not enough to be, what is it? Hold on, I want to get this.
it's not enough to not be racist.
Yeah,
You have to be
but it's not.
anti-racist.
But what is the equivalent for? It's not enough to not be sexist. You have to be anti-sexist.
There you go. Would you have her best move?
All of Buffy's post-serum moves where she didn't have strength and she had to figure it out. I was really impressed.
I loved all of that. I feel like the holy water switcheroo was tempting, but I gave it to diving into the laundry chute.
You love
I
that.
just thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
And lastly, who'd you have for most likely?
Most likely to be a patient of Hannibal Lecter, Zachary Craig.
He features in mine as well. I said, most likely to make proverbial lemonade by opening an exhibit at her gallery of all of the Polaroids Zachary took of her, Joyce.
Oh my God. What a great exhibit. What a great exhibit. Fantastic.
That's all we've got. Thanks for hanging out with us, you guys. We're going to be back next week with a very special guest. Next time you see us, we will be joined by none other than the legendary Tony Webster from All Bronze No Brains, who's going to do the Zeppo with us. Cannot wait for that. We haven't recorded it yet. We record it in a few days, and I'm so excited. So we're really looking forward to that. Stay tuned and check that out, and check out our Patreon, and check out our other show, Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe, co-starring her and the hilarious Kim Burns. I produce and edit that show. We've done nearly 400 episodes of that show. We just announced we're going to be doing a big to-do for the 400th that comes out soon, but that's on social media. At KK Sam Podcast comes out every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts. This show is on social media at Major Slayage Pod. And until we meet again, dust you later.
Bees and bats and scorpions and bears, they are all inside me.